Don't forget to like, subscribe and share the videos.
Hello all, welcome to Ganesh IAS Academy. This is the exclusive session for the upcoming mains exam. Here we will discuss about what are the terminologies they will going to use, and also what are the things you need to focus, and also we will discuss about how to structure your answer. You know that you have to give the introduction and the conclusion, the body part, that is you know. But structuring of the answer means it's about what are the priority of the answers you have to make. For example, there was a question about Indian soils. In that question, they asked about the distributions of the Indian soils. So, in that question, you may know that. So, what are the soils in India? You know that alluvial soil, red soil, laterite soil, black soil, everything you know. But when it comes to structuring part, means you have to structure it in any order. Okay. So for this kinds of question, distribution of soil types in India means you have to structure it in the manner of increasing to decreasing order, from the larger to lower. So this is how you have to structure it. So alluvial soil is the major part. So first alluvial soil. So what is the characteristics? How it is origin? What are the things that there are higher minerals and what are the deficient minerals in it and where it is. So this is called a structuring, which means prioritizing the answers. So next point should be about a black soil. And the next is what is the third thing? Okay, so this is called a structuring of the answer. You may write it as like a desert soil or else a peat soil. So you can answer it in a random manner. But when it comes to answering part, when it comes to the correction part, they will they will give extra half a mark for the structured answer. This is called a structuring. That thing also we will discuss. So what is the priority of the answers you have to write? How you have to prioritize the answer? So this is called a structuring part. This is also most important thing. If you are clearing a prelims and you are getting into a mains means, there is something you have in your knowledge part. Okay, so you have something know about what is UPSC and what is about the geography, polity, economy, everything. You know something, but only few of them able to clear this mains. The reason is they know these things. So what should be the introduction and what should be the conclusion? How to structure the answer? Where to use the maps and where to use the flow charts? How to use the diagrams? So these are the things enrich your answers, and that is push you into the interview part. So that is what the mains is more important. So if you have something in you means you have to need to structure it. That is the most important thing about the mains. So that thing also we will discuss here. Okay. So let's begin the session with the today's question. Okay. The question is, explain the difference between the computing methodology of India's GDP before the year of 2015 and after the year of 2015. This is a 150 marks, sorry, 150 words, 10 mark question. It is asked in 2021. So here the question is very simple. Okay, they didn't use any things like critically analyze, okay, critically examine, okay, that kind of terminology is not there. Okay, it is very simple. Explain the difference. So what is the change in methodology of the computing the GDP before 2015 and after 2015? Simple as that. Okay, so the question is the major part is you know that what are the things that are changed, okay, after 2015 in the computing the national income. But the question is all about explain. Okay, so the main thing is you shouldn't just list the point, you have to somewhat try to explain the reasons. Okay, so why they did it, that is also more important when it comes to answering these kinds of questions. You have to explain something about that. That is the major thing here. First is how you are going to introduce this thing. Okay, so this is the first and foremost thing. When these kinds of question means, from where you have to start. Okay, so just like that, you can say that what is GDP, or else what is national income, whatever it is up to you. Okay, or else you can just use this question as the elaborate manner. Okay, so there is a need for the change in the computing methodology due to these reasons. Likewise, also you can say that the global practices are changing, so we have to adapt to that. For that, we change the computing methodology of the GDP compilation, so we changed in 2015. So that is also a easy way of giving the introduction. Or else you can simply say that what is GDP within the territory of India, how much goods and services produced, and it is measured in the financial term. Okay, so in a given base year, in a given current year. Okay, so this is also the way of introducing your question. Okay, so there are lot of ways you can use it. This is the simple part of explaining what it is. Okay, next is about the body of the answer. Here it is the more important thing is, first point is change in base year. Okay, so which means 2004-5 was shifted to 2011 and 12. Everyone know that. Okay, everyone knew that this is the change, but you have to explain it why they changed it, because explain the difference. They are not just asking the what is the difference, you have to somewhat try to explain it why they change this base year. Okay, so that is the more important part. If I am going to answer this question means, what I will say is, there is a need for the change in base year, because there are some of the commodities what we are measuring in the goods and services are old one, or else it is not in use at the present year. So we have to just take out from that measurement, and also we have to add certain new goods and services into the measurement of the GDP. So for that, we change the base year. This is also one way of answering. Okay, so you have to give the reason for why we are changing this. Okay, so first thing, the change in the base year. Second point is, GDP at factor cost is represented with replaced with GDP at market price. So you have to explain what is factor cost, which means land, labor, capital, and entrepreneur. Okay, next, the major change in 2015 is the introduction of basic price. So what is this basic price means? Factor cost plus production tax minus production subsidy. So this is the major change in 2015. Next, market price, which means basic price plus product tax minus product subsidy. So these are the things you have to explain. So the major thing is, in the factor cost means, what are the things you are going to use and you are going to produce a product. So that is as simple as about the factor cost. When it comes to basic price means, you are buying certain product or a raw material. In that scenario, you are going to pay certain tax on that raw material. So that is also take into the consideration. That is the major change in 2015. Okay, so they calculated the market price based on the basic price. So that is the major change. So you have to explain about this basic price and the calculation of the market price with the use of this basic price. Okay, so that is the more major thing you have to explain. And the third thing is, so other than that, it is not a big deal. Okay, so other changes, a change in the data used in the measurements of the manufacturing sector, which means earlier they used around only 2 lakh manufacturing things. Now they are using based on the Ministry of Corporate Affairs data. They are going to use the data of around 5 lakh companies. So by the way, they are increasing the base to measuring the certain growth in the GDP, or else they are going to how much the goods and services produced by these manufacturing industries. So such a way it is broadening the things measuring. Okay, so that is one of the major advantage. Next, addition of the livestock in the agriculture sector, which means earlier also uh, they will measure about how much goods and services produced in the agriculture sector, but the recent changes, they are also going to measure the things of this livestock also. Okay, so earlier it is only about the crops. Okay, so how much crop is produced, for example sugar cane, that is changing into sugar. Okay, so these things only measured in 2015. When it comes to the livestock, consider that if any meat like beef, okay, or else the goat meat, so whatever it is, mutton, everything, all these things are not considered in the measurement of the GDP in 2000 before 2015. That is also changed, and they are going to incorporate these things also in the measurements of the GDP from the agriculture sector. So that is one of the major change. So that is actually a positive change. Next, capturing income generated from the financial sector, which means they are also going to consider the things of the share market data. So these are the things they changed. You have to explain it. Okay, so that is the more important part when it comes to these kinds of questions. You have to try to explain why it is happened, or else what are the benefit that is going to give. That is the way you have to answer it. That is the more important part. At last, it's about conclusion. So when it comes to the conclusion, you can give in many ways. Okay, there are many ways, but when come to this conclusion, what I did is, there is a recent talk is going on about to change the base year from 2011 12 is they are going to they are in the talk of shifting it to the or 18 19 or else 16 16 17. So there is a talk is going on, so you can say about that thing. Okay, so that is also one way of completing the answer, or else why this shift is actually needed, why we are doing these things, why we are changing with the updated things. In the way you can also conclude it. Okay, or else you can simply say about what is the GDP growth rate of India, so how their GDP measurement is going as good work. Okay, or else what are the things that are still need to be incorporated into it, that is also you can speak. So this is the way you can conclude the answer. Okay, so it will be more like giving a solution to the thing, or else you have to address certain issue. Okay, so you can say that these are the issues that are needed, okay, to be rectified. You can add about the employment data also in this measurement, or else you can measure the productivity of the GDP growth. Okay, so such a way also you can speak. That is the way. Okay, thank you.